So the oven stays?
Yes, and you can use any part of the house as long as you clean up afterwards.
Just one question.
Uh-huh.
How do you walk if you don't have any legs?
I don't know.
Monster girls are nothing new. The fascination with this kind of character and the inevitable relationships between humans and them is as old as that woman from the Golden Child. And we will talk about such relationships soon. This interest obviously doesn't always follow the same vein. While another subgroup simply has interspecies relations and attraction to oddity, through time it became more common to present notably more human species. At least in conventional anime. While we have seen a compromise between the two starting to show up more and more, with characters starting to escape the humanoid, the sexual interest to what's other or unknown continues a minority. Again, at least in conventional anime. In fact, trying to think of an anime with this premise, and I freely admit, I don't see that much anime nowadays. The anime that comes to mind is Nazo no Kanojo Exu. Yeah, Mysterious Girlfriend X, a girl that literally walks around armed with scissors and threatens her boyfriend, but with whom he is completely and hopelessly in love for unexplicable reasons. Review Mysterious Girlfriend X. What the hell, Super Dingo? Aside from that, the idea of attraction for the monsters is quite light, not being different from having one of a number of powers. It doesn't matter if they are barely monsters, or if they are women with appearance and habits modified, or the simple exploration of just saying, hey, she's part animal. But another thing that can be done is escaping the sexual interest entirely. It's remarkable how little this is seen currently. It must have something to do with harems not really being made up of wives. But characters can simply be from another species without being a love interest. And all of that was just to say that the scenario in this is well executed. And to start the conversation we are coming back to. Today we talk about Lunchtime. Lunchtime! An independent comic from 2010 that presents a world where various monster characters interact. Think Darkstalkers. But it's a comedy manga, so think Pocket Fighter, maybe? It wouldn't be Clay Fighter. I know, think Moose of Ranmani Bunichi Hard Battle. It's around there. It's a comedy manga, complete with title in English that only scrapes being connected to the story's topic. Although the character could be using lunchtime, thinking of lunch hour. That is, he could be using time to eat instead of free time by mistake. Or he could be stretching it to try to associate working with food with leisure. Something not uncommon in manga. Living in a city shaped like Pacula, yes, that existed, works Sakashi, a young man who fishes in the city bay, the monster's throat. And it isn't a metaphor for Guanabara Bay, because he's not fishing on a sofa, who suddenly sees fish the woman and dives to save her, cutting his net and bringing her onto the boat. And here, a detail must be noticed. This might seem like just a simple sequence of occurrences, and it is, but it is exactly the work that needs to be done so your story is good. The review is quick, the reader realizes the situation at the same time as the character, and the occurrences unfold naturally, both here and in the rest of the story. The woman is a mermaid called Yumiko, whose design is a little too press-oriented not to notice. More than Disney, and they put dicks on castles. At least she doesn't seem to be a 14-year-old girl. Takashi apologizes and they run to the restaurant he supplies to explain why he hadn't caught anything. His boss is a vampire named Asuka, who'd never lower herself to his level. And for some reason I catch myself thinking her fangs seem wrong somehow. I'm not sure why, but they seem to be too far apart or too small, I don't know. At this point you've probably noticed that most of my complaints are nitpicks. And you're right. The comic was easy to read, I really loved the first story and I liked the second one a lot too. But if I don't complain, there's no joke, no video, no soul. Word about about her clients wanting food, who are already in the restaurant, I don't care there's a leg, it looks like a pea. Asuka obviously decides to cook the mermaid so they come in and are pleased, mixing Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Bugs Bunny cartoons, and an empty Katy Perry song. Seriously, doesn't this sign seem to imply another kind of establishment? The monsters threaten to eat Asuka, told ya. But happy and ex-machinally, Yumiko is a great cook and the leftovers in the fridge were enough to make open sandwiches to serve to the monsters. I thought it was sushi, but since they didn't have fish, that's unlikely. The second story shows us that possibly cannibal vampires love soap operas. I feel a parallel with murderous mothers who watch evangelical shows and make their employees work in their house so they don't have to cook, taking advantage of the work reform in Brazil 7 years before it was even discussed. But Yumiko accidentally changes channels. And again, kudos on the planning. This is the kind of stuff that would be shoved into some kind of urgent news. And attention, with the move to the new house, all series return. For more information, please check the blog. We now return to our previously started review. What was that? Which makes Asuka get the elephant in the room. Where did this elephant come from? Well, everybody knows, but no one talks about it. Wait. Who's asking? No, really. I know it's likely just a meta-joke, meta-tug to point the pointing pointed is pointable, but in this world, this can literally be an invisible man, or a ghost, or a demon possessing the house. But they are too busy to think about it because the show from TV is presented by a sphinx named Nephit, supposedly a digifusion of Plotmon and Mummymon. And no, I couldn't say Nefertimon. She literally starts the plot. Plotmon is too perfect. Everyone goes to TV, Asuka infiltrates the building, revealing she can become a stuffed animal easily, being cornered by a horny bat, which fortunately doesn't get to Kami-sennin levels, being saved by his wife, who then blames her for her husband's horniness that she says she knows it's his problem. She falls into the soup being prepared by Yumiko, who got in when Nephit asked if someone in the audience had recipes. Nephit immediately sends her goon to attack them. Ramses! Get those fools off my show! Ah! I'd scream too. Remy! Buddy. The shorts ain't great, but they're better than nothing. Asuka challenges her to taste the food her mermaid cook made, putting her restaurant on the line. Nephit is forced to accept it because Dr. Willy says the audience went up, and surrenders to Yumiko's food, which seems to be some sort of curry with French fries and rice. And of course it would be good if she can mix carré with mini meron pain. And wasn't she making soup? In any case, the restaurant's reputation is saved, and unfortunately this great story of interpersonal competition is kinda ruined in the end. In the beginning of the story, Takashi says the feud between them was due to Asuka attacking Nephit's fiancé because her blood level got low. She's a blood diabetic? The issue is that even though this doesn't make sense for a civilized character in any other situation, like a vampire who owns a restaurant for monsters, wouldn't have thought of having food for herself? Even if you don't have a water to serve you as soup, why wouldn't she have a blood bag for an emergency? Why would this not be a common item to be bought in whatever the equivalent of a 7-Eleven in this world is? But you could say she simply forgot, lost track of time, I don't know. Yet, besides this little plot hole that I hadn't even noticed in the first read, the author decides the problem has to be a trope. Nephit's ex-fiancé, who Asuka thought had left her because she wasn't on TV for a while, actually fell in love with her after being beaten, and Nephit blames her and hates her because of that. Look, I don't want to be that guy, but why would you empty your characters like this? It was horrible seeing Asuka being blamed for something she didn't do, but at least that was an extra clearly there just for the joke. Which, by the way, could have been done without her being blamed for what she didn't do, and avoiding the trope completely. The wife could have tried to hit the husband and knocked her down accidentally, or she could have revealed herself when she saw Yumiko had been able to get in by herself. Only here, Nephit is an asshole who doesn't blame her fiancé for what he does. You reduce a character that obviously has a career and is shown as capable to, oh, my fiancé left me because my fiancé doesn't like me anymore after my fiancé fell in love with someone else and now I can't be with my fiancé. It couldn't be my fiance's fault. Yes, she's obviously not following any ethics if she was going to tarnish the restaurant out of the blue, but it still seems possible. Here, she's just crazy and jealous, to the point of finding the elephant. I wanted to say the author tried to show how this attitude is ridiculous with the parallel between the bat and the Sphinx, but it really doesn't seem to be the case. At least, this is the only real problem of the comic. 2 whole stories with good comedy and just one mistake. That's quite rare. Clearly, Lunchtime is an episodic comedy manga whose first book is very well done, and that seems to make good use of the format to bring stories that flow naturally. And if you have the chance to buy it, they aren't expensive. I bought the first ones all together, and they come with stickers.
So, did you like it?
Yes, with some sound treatment, it's going to be a great studio.
So it's a done deal. Oh, one more thing. You don't have any evil entities following you, do you?
Well... How did you do that? No, it's okay. I haven't met one of those in years.
Hey, I don't want any evil entities here.
Well, I guess I have some work to do. I loved the first story and I liked the second one a lot too. Lunchtime! And you're right. The comic. Lunchtime! And attention. And you're right. And attention to the... This can literally, and you're right. And attention, we return now for our previously...